George Russell won Mercedes' first race of the season as McLaren teammates Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris clashed in the closing stages of the Canadian Grand Prix. Russell fended off Max Verstappen throughout the Grand Prix, while his Mercedes teammate Kimi Antonelli took a maiden F1 podium in third. The Brit had to wait almost 6 hours to take the checker flag for his victory to be officially confirmed, as Red Bull's protest was rejected after they alleged that Russell had driven erratically under the safety car and the race ended behind following McLaren's collision. The big drama came in the battle for fourth as Piastri and Norris tangled as they went across the start-finish line with 4 laps remaining, which saw the latter come off worse and retire from the race. Norris apologised for a stupid move as he tried to overtake Piastri, who carried on and now leads the championship by 22 points from his McLaren teammate and 43 points from Verstappen. Charles Leclerc finished 5th ahead of Ferrari teammate Lewis Hamilton, who carried significant damage for most of the race. Aston Martin's Alonso came 7th, his best season ahead of Hülkenberg, Ocon and Carlos Sainz. But Norris started 7th after a disappointing qualifying and ran an alternative strategy where he started on hards compared to the leaders on mediums, enjoying spells in the lead when Russell, Verstappen and Piastri pitted before dropping back after his own pit stop. It meant he had fresher tyres for the last stint and set about chasing after his teammate. Piastri was unfortunate with traffic in the final 20 laps as he tried to overtake Antonelli to get onto the podium but did not have enough of an advantage to get by. Instead, Norris closed in and dived down the inside of Piastri at the turn 10 hairpin on lap 66. The pair then went side by side at over 200 mile an hour bound the back straight. Piastri had the inside for the tricky last chicane but got a bad exit, so Norris looked for a gap but there wasn't one there and they clashed at high speed heading to turn 1. Norris broke his front wing immediately and came to a halt while Piastri continued testing for 4th. No one's blamed but myself. I apologise to the whole team and to Oscar for being so silly with that move, said Norris. Glad I didn't ruin his race. In the end, apologies to the team. But there at the front, Russell and Verstappen were set for a big showdown 2 weeks on from their controversial clash at the Spanish Grand Prix. A poor launch from Verstappen though meant Russell constantly held the lead on the opening lap. Verstappen put a lot more pressure on Russell initially, but faded away as the first stint went on. In fact, Antonelli got closer to overtaking Verstappen before Red Bull pitted their driver early on lap 12, which triggered the first round of pit stops. Mercedes simply covered off Verstappen and did so again for the second pit stops, with Russell having enough speed not to face a serious attack from the reigning world champ. It's amazing to get back onto the top set, said Russell. The last time for us was back in Vegas. I felt last year was a victory lost and probably got the victory today due to the incredible pole out yesterday. Obviously, so happy to see Kimi on the podium as well. Amazing day for the team. Thanks to everyone back at the factory for getting us to work for victories. It feels good. Further back, Leclerc questions Ferrari's strategy as he copied Norris by starting on the hards and was keen to see a one-stop race. However, he ended up on the same strategy as the leaders and finished 5th. Hamilton endured another disappointing Sunday in 6th, carrying damage following hitting a ground hole, costing him half a second a lap. Home driver Lance Stroll was given the only penalty of the race, forcing Gasly off at the chicane, and Albon retired with an engine problem which cost him parts of the points, with Liam Lawson also retiring too. And before I go, let me run you through the classification for the Canadian Grand Prix. And George Russell coming out on top, great drive from him, and brilliant win for him and for Mercedes. They'll be so pleased with that. It's just a question of whether they can translate it, really, isn't it? But Verstappen in second, I think, probably the maximum he could have done today. Antonelli as well, first podium for him after a few tough races as a rookie. Incredible for him to bounce back and get a podium so soon. Piastri in 4th, I think damage limitation, obviously the clash with Lando probably worked out well for him in the end, didn't it? So yeah, I think Piastri will be quite pleased with his day nonetheless, despite that crash. And then Leclerc and Hamilton, they just didn't really have the pace, did they? Disappointing for Hamilton to have that issue because he seems to be sticking with the leaders somewhat. So yeah, he'll be frustrated with that. Alonso in 7th, great result for him. Hulkenberg as well, Ocon as well. They all keep delivering. Sainz, good recovery from a poor qualifying. Bierman as well, I think had a good race, but yeah, we devastated miss out on points. And then Tsunoda, I think 12th. Yeah, no, from last it's not bad, but when you consider that likes of Sainz were at the back as well, and they made it up into the points. Yeah, it's not great, is it, from him? Colapinto didn't maybe have as good a race as he did qualifying, but still beat Gasly, which will probably provide him with confidence. Bortoleto didn't really have the pace of Hulkenberg. Not a respectable job for a rookie, but not great. And then Gasly and Hadjar just struggling for pace. Stroll as well for his teammate. And, Norris, a huge error for him. He'll be absolutely disappointed. He'll be absolutely gutted with that. Just has to stop making these silly little errors. And then, of course, Albon retiring, I think that he'll consider that a big missed opportunity. So yeah, he'll be disappointed with that. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe. Follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily F1 news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.